Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sassy Pants, wife to Matty the rancher, and I'll be your storyteller today. Welcome to Adventures with Sodak Pete, stories that celebrate the hard work, big hearts, and open spaces of ranch life. Out here, every day's an adventure, and we hope that each and every one of you watching today can imagine yourself as little Sodak Pete, learning the ropes, getting your hands a little dirty, and helping out where it counts. So grab your boots, tip your hat, and let's see what today's adventure has in store. Sodak Pete, working on the corral. The morning light slipped through the kitchen window, stretching across the table where Pete sat tall with his straw hat tipped back and Millie thumped her tail underfoot. Matty was sipping his coffee and leaned back in his chair. "Pete, you know what? Today we're gonna work on that corral," he said. Pete's eyes grew wide. "Really?" "That's right," Matty nodded. "It's time to make some changes that I've been thinking about for a while." Pete shoveled in another bite of pancakes. He knew that a day started with pancakes and a plan was bound to be a good one. Out by the barn, the corral waited. Panels and gates were standing sturdy in the morning sun. Matty rested his arm on the top rail. "This corral will help us handle cattle calm and safe. Calm cattle are happy cattle, and calm people are safe people." Pete nodded, fingers running along that cool steel. Millie sniffed every corner. Her tail was a wagging, and she was ready. A rusty hinge squeaked as Matty swung the gate open and shut. "Yep," he said. "Time to give this corral some attention." Matty crouched down beside Pete. "Cows, you know, they like to go where they've been before. If we set things up just right, they'll think they're heading back to the pasture. But we'll gently guide them now into the new spot instead." Pete's grin spread ear to ear. "So we're kind of tricking them, huh?" Matty chuckled. "Not tricking them exactly. We're just working with how they think." Pete laughed. "I guess cows are smarter than they look." Millie tilted her head like she was trying to understand too. They walked the fence line slow. Millie was padding along. "See here," Matty pointed. "We want cattle to pass by us 2 or 3 times before they head into the chute. That makes them calm, not rushed. The corral's got to work for the cows and for us." Pete stepped through the gate, kind of pretending like he was a cow, and walking the path they might take. Matty just smiled. He was sure enjoying Pete's energy and all his ideas. Then Matty knelt in the dirt. He was drawing lines with a stick, squares for the pens and arrows for the flow, where the cattle would go. Pete leaned in close. "Well, what if we move this panel over here, Matty?" he asked, dragging his own stick across the dirt, kind of making a new sketch. Matty studied it, then he grinned. "Now that's a fine idea, Pete," he said. Pete beamed. Millie pawed at the dirt, drawing, kind of leaving her own paw print plan. Even Scrappy, parked nearby, looked like it was waiting to get to work. Just then, Matty jumped in Scrappy the old skidder, and it roared to life. The old machine rumbled and growled, but it was strong and steady and ready for work. Matty worked the controls while Pete waved directions with his hat and kind of hooked some chains once the panel swung into place. Dust swirled and Millie barked, racing in circles around the yard. "Hold her steady, Scrappy!" Pete hollered into the noise, grinning from ear to ear. By afternoon, the corral had a new shape. Gates were latched, panels were lined up straight, and everything was coming together nicely. Matty slapped that steel gate with satisfaction. "This corral is coming together nicely. Sturdy, safe, and built to work with how the cattle think." Pete stood tall, a proud smile spreading across his face. "Thanks for teaching me, Matty." Millie wagged her tail like she agreed. Pete's cheeks were dusty, but his eyes sparkled, brighter than ever. That evening, the ranch yard lay quiet. Matty sat on the porch step, boots were dusty, Millie curled up at his side. Pete was stretched out on the porch steps, hands behind his head, boots in a heap. With a long sigh, he said, "Now this is living." And me? Well, I just smiled and said, "On this ranch, we aim to handle cattle well. We give thanks for good corrals and steady hands as we take our boots off and enjoy this beautiful evening under the good Lord's wide open sky." Thanks for riding along with us today. Sodak Pete and I hope you'll join us on our next adventure.